Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group. Today's Monday, September 8, 2025. We'll spend some time reviewing last week. We'll look forward to this week, and then we'll spend some time on interest rates. There's some interesting dynamics, and the debate over the interest rate cuts continues. But first, I wanted to start out by telling you I did make it to the New York Stock Exchange on Friday afternoon. And I'll do a separate video. I've gotten a lot of feedback on it. Thank you so much. A lot of congratulations and well wishes. And I'll spend a couple of minutes on a separate video with some pictures and an explanation and the story behind it. It was exciting. It was interesting, and I'll fill you in more. Okay, last week the Dow was actually down about 1/3%. The S&P up about 1/3%. And the NASDAQ was up 1%, and the Russell, again, up 1%. So the year-to-date, where we're at is Dow up 6.7%, S&P up 10%, NASDAQ up 12%, and the Russell up 7.2%. Again, Russell recently really playing catch-up. Looking forward this week, there's not a lot going on, but what there is going on is some very important things. First of all, on the earnings front, you got Oracle, GameStop, Adobe, and like that. So the GameStop, amongst the mean things. In the economic news, we get inflation. So we get the CPI and PPI. PPI is Wednesday, CPI on Thursday. And the importance of this, and the urgency about these releases, is that we had this weak jobs report on Friday. So, with the, signaling perhaps a weakening of the economy. So if inflation doesn't come down and these CPI, PPI numbers are stronger than forecast or just up, it now brings in a weakening economy with rising inflation. And then what do you do on interest rate cuts? Now, I do think that the Fed has shown its hand and guided that they are going to cut. It's a week, not this week, the next week, and they're going to cut. But we'll see if these inflation numbers end up, putting in jeopardy interest rate cuts the rest of the year. And I don't think the market will like that if that's the case. So, interesting statistic we'll close with. So far, globally, there has been 88 interest rate cuts by the various global central banks. And that's the most since 2020, which was, again, COVID year. So it looks like the U.S. is going to join that and make it 89 cuts. And I'm sure there'll be some other central banks as well. So we'll be back. I'll try to do the video tomorrow on the visit to the New York Stock Exchange. Thank you for listening. Appreciate all the feedback. And we'll be back tomorrow and then Wednesday with a market update. Thank you again. Goodbye.